Welcome to the Guelph Real Estate Report podcast with your host and Guelph Realtor, Ryan Waller. This podcast is designed to provide information for those buying and selling homes in the Guelph area to make the process more informative, fun, and a little less stressful. Now, on with the show.
Hey everyone, it's Ryan and welcome back to the Guelph Real Estate Report podcast. My name is Ryan and I am going to talk to you about the Guelph real estate sales for the period of March 1st to March 15th. Last week we spoke about the period of March 1st to March 8th, and this week we are going to give you the half-month update. So before we get into the actual numbers for the week, there are a few news items that impacted sales over the last 7 days, one of them being the overhanging threat of tariffs. There is a lot of talk about whether they're coming, whether they're going, whether they're going to happen, and just the mention of it is spooking the market, and it is impacting sales in a negative way, and we'll get into those details. The second item is that the Bank of Canada has reduced the overnight rate or the policy rate from 3% to 2.75% or a 0.25 decline. This helps anybody with a line of credit or a variable rate mortgage, and the idea around that, in theory, in real estate is that it's going to bring more people to the market. Whether it will or not, I don't know. There's a lot of people that probably are not making decisions based on a 0.25% rate reduction. And remember, the reason the rates are coming down is not necessarily a positive sign for the market. The government is trying to spark activity, and by bringing rates down, they're hoping that people will go out and buy. Okay, let's get into the sales for the period of March 1st to March 15th. In totality, there have been 55 sales over the first 15 days of the month. 30 of those sales have been in the detached/semi-freehold segment, and 25 sales have been in the condo, townhouse, stacked townhouse segment. This would give us an average of 3.67 sales per day. And although that is higher than the first week of March, it's still a very low number. For context, March 2025 at 3.67 is significantly lower than March 2024, that was at 5.4 sales per day. March 2023, which was at 5.8 sales per day. And when you get into 2022 and 2021, you're looking at 8.3 and 11.6 sales per day, respectively. So at 3.67, very low. However, it is starting to trend upwards, which you would expect for the spring market. If it continued to trend downwards, which it couldn't really trend further downwards, I don't think, it does get a bit concerning. Okay, so let's get into specifics. Of the 25 condo, townhouse, stacked townhouse segments that we have a low price of $465,000 and a high price of $1.35 million in the Arboretum. The overall average this month of this segment is at $628,000, which is up from last week. Homes here have sold, on average, 97% of the asking price. And that doesn't mean that every house is selling at 97%. It just means that in totality, versus the list price and the sale price, it's been 97%. And it just gives an indicator as to what this segment is doing. Really what it means is you can negotiate because there is a lot of supply. 3 of the 25 sold over the asking price, or 12%. 2 sold at the asking price, and the remaining 20 sold below the asking price. As we've talked about, this segment continues to struggle a little bit because there is more supply than there is demand. And that goes to the use of these homes. If you think about who is buying a condo or who is buying a stacked townhouse, it's a very specific buyer. There are only so many buyers for this format of home, yet we're continuing to develop them. If you take a drive around Guelph, you'll see how many of these stacked townhouses or condos are being built. Now, no, it doesn't mean the market here is going to crash. It just simply means that for the foreseeable future, there's going to be a buyer's market in this segment where if you're buying a condo or a townhouse or a stacked townhouse, you can negotiate because you have options. There is more supply than there is demand. Okay, now looking at the detached freehold segment, there were 25 sales in this category from March 1st to March 15th, with the low price being $425,000, that is some vacant land, and the high at $1.455 million on Zest Court in the South End. On average here, homes sold $846,000, which is slightly down from last week, and at 101% of the asking price, which is an indication that there is some demand here. In fact, 13 of the 30 sold over the asking price this month. That's 43%. 1 sold at the asking price, and 16 sold below the asking price in this segment. There have been 4 sales over $1 million this month, or 13%, which is in line with historical numbers. You can expect at any given time 10 to 20% of the homes selling in Guelph will be over $1 million. So at 13%, we are in the range. We are noticing a trend with detached homes in the range of $600,000 to $800,000. It's become a very competitive segment, maybe for first-time buyers. Most of these homes between $600,000 to $800,000 that are detached are somewhere around the downtown core or maybe Willow, but we're finding that there is big demand there. 7 of the 11 sales in this price range went over the asking price. We'll keep an eye on this segment and give you updates if we see anything different. I suspect that it's going to get more competitive in the detached segment as the spring market moves, especially under $1 million. But we'll let you know. If you have any questions on the Guelph real estate market in the meantime, feel free to visit us at bethandryan.ca, give us a phone call, an email, or you can even book an appointment right online. Talk to you soon.